center where almost all the schools in the country, they up to 6th or 7th level, they all are supposed to visit that place. There, the children, they express about their relationship, about the sexual things, all those things. So that way, and it is compulsory that all schools must go through such centers. I think that was one way. Even sometimes the abortion and all. So they conduct there and they go home, and sometimes youngster says, please don't tell to my father, don't tell to my mother. Or sometimes they will say, don't call I don't want to speak to my mother or to my father. I don't want to go tell them about these things. So they also have some counseling session for the parents over there. So I think that was one way to make them understand about the sexuality, and if something happens, then they are helped there. Even as a parents, they say, young parents, they become, and there it is compulsory that a boy goes with the girl who is pregnant in their maternity center. So that was their health. I mean, this is a part of the education and counseling.
Anybody else on potential PIL?
Just, I'm S.K. Mohanty, I'm an advocate.
From where?
I'm practicing in Delhi High Court and Delhi Court. One thing, Mr. Gonzalez, that before filing a PIL, the homework we have to do, before that we have to think what is the mindset of the society where we need it. I studied in a boys' high school. In our biology curriculum, there was something related to female reproductive, human reproductive system. The teacher was a female teacher. But what happened, that portion she was not very comfortable to teach us in a boys' school. So somebody else, a male teacher who is not familiar with biology, is a science teacher, was taught us that portion. So all these things, keeping all this, and also that we have to de-link religion from the sex education. So homework has to be done. She has pointed certain things. There is a potential, but we have to sensitize even to judges also. Those judges also, they are from this old school of thought. We don't have this, very few judges, even for this 377 things, other things. So we have to see, unless we have to convince the court, if there is because some states, some political party, they have their reservations. But we have to de-link religion, we have to come to the health, law aspect and health aspect, and ethics, law, ethics and religion come there. But we have to do a lot of preparation, and such kind of sensitizing seminar will do.
Yes. Thank you. So, any other comment before we give the mic to Deepa? Anybody else? Sure, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Julie from HRL in Delhi. Sir, my question is that we are talking about female sterilization, but not men sterilization.
Right, so you've gone back to the sterilization.
Yes.
So we'll take this up. Please make a note, all those who are, because we will make a note of all the potential PILs that can be done.
As India has largest number of adolescents, and 2003 it was a policy of youth this sex education is added in these educational curriculums, but yet India has to do a lot in this field, but nothing is done.
Thank you, Jyoti.
I think the sex education should come out from their own families, where they should start. Otherwise, if the girls are prominent or they can speak towards their parents, then most of the problems will be solved in their own families itself.
Thank you. I'm Manjula from Gujarat. Maybe my entire debate is on this something not with regard to reproductive health, but that is linked to it. In your presentation you made on mental health and sustained abuse prevention, because I have been handling almost 35 to 40 cases of young children who have been survivors of sexual violence. And recently I got a call from the National Commission for Child Rights Protection about is there any trauma counseling happening of the children who have been survivors of sexual violence. And I would say that no, because I have handled their cases of gang rape where ultimately it becomes the responsibility of an organization like us to help the survivors of violence to ensure that she is given a proper medical treatment. And that there were two very severe cases of trafficking of a young Dalit girl of 14 years of age who was kidnapped from the school, and then she was sold off at 4 places for the entire year. And apart from justice, we were able to get a conviction, but I think that was not the end result. I would say that because the kind of counseling which we need to give and the trauma she goes through from her family and from the society, I think that was terrible because that comes on us. I'm also a lawyer, but it's also like you have to do so many other things also. Another case was where a girl of 12th grade, she was gang raped and then she became a maniac, and then how she was given treatment in the civil hospital where she was given electric shots twice. And I took her out from there, and then we and you have to give shelter to that person, because somebody was talking about shelter for people who are surviving from this kind of violence. So I think these are the things which is going on in my mind, that how do you make the state responsible for like what does it mean to get access to justice, like and if you see the process which goes through the justice, and if you don't have organizations like us who can help the survivors of violence, and this is also happening in the schools, in the institutions. Like I handled a very serious case of a gang rape of a young girl who was gang raped by 6 male professors in all girls college, and like again she was also collapsing whenever she was raped. So, and then the entire process of getting justice for the girl, it went for 1 year. Ultimately we got judgment, but then how much work you have to do as an organization and as an individual, because it's also becomes your personal responsibility to ensure that that person gets not only justice but also she lives a life of dignity and self-respect. So I think these are the issues which link with the youth, and how do we deal it with through the PIL, because certain PILs have to be taken up, especially with regard to sexual violence. Thank you.
My gosh, Manjula, what a startling case this is. I want the organizers who are taking down minutes, please flag these cases. Apart from the sexuality education case, we'll come back to it now, and the PIL there. Sterilization of men, just flag it, because we want to assign lawyers to sit with people and discuss these issues in small little groups and come up with some ideas. And Manjula's thing about sexual violence against children, which included the mental health aspect of electric shocks being given. So these are actually connected but separate as well. So a team of lawyers, and DJ, if you can help us with this as well. If we can sit with Manjula, form a small team, perhaps over lunch, and discuss the possibility of working with her on this. Such a shocking case. A doable case, not so easy, winnable, but we have to sit carefully and see how we do this. Anybody else? Please don't worry if it doesn't stay to the topic of sexuality education. We'll come back to it immediately, but we are taking even random interventions, no problem, because we'll flag these cases. As I said, by the end of today and by the end of tomorrow, we want to flag about 10 cases to do and actually finish it within a time-bound program. Within 2 months or 3 months to finish those cases. Pushpalata?
Yes. वो केस ये है कि लड़की है लगभग 20 साल की और रायपुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट के तिलदा ब्लॉक में है वो, और उनके फादर ही उसके साथ में सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट लगभग 2 से 3 सालों से कर रहे हैं, और वो इतनी परेशान हो गई है कि वो किसी से बता नहीं पा रही थी। पर जस्ट अभी हम लोगों को भी ये केस अभी जस्ट मिला है और हम इसकी तहकीकात कर रहे हैं। ये केस में जब वो लड़की ने घर से जब बाहर निकल के कुछ लोगों से और अपनी माँ से जब ये बताया कि मेरे फादर ही मेरे साथ में इस तरीके से कर रहे हैं, तो फादर थोड़े से दबंग किस्म के हैं, ये पता चला है हमें। और दूसरी बात ये पता चला है कि उस लड़की को ही उसके फादर ने और कम्युनिटी के लोगों ने
पागल घोषित कर दिया है कि ये लड़की इस तरीके से, जबकि वो लड़की के बारे में हमें पता चला है कि वो ऐसी बिल्कुल भी नहीं है। तो ये केस हमारे यहाँ
पुष्पलता, छत्तीसगढ़ के 2 वकील है इधर, आप इनसे मिलना दोपहर को, जस्ट फ्लैग द केस प्लीज, द ऑर्गेनाइजर्स हु आर टेकिंग मिनट्स जस्ट फ्लैग दीज केसेस, just sit with them and discuss with them. Any other question before we return to the original topic? Anybody else? So Deepa, thank you Pushpalata. Just sit with Kishore and Alvin from Chhattisgarh. Deepa.
Thank you, Colin and Deepika. I actually am kind of encouraged that we are expanding beyond the sexuality education, that ambit, because frankly, while it is, I think it would be an interesting idea to go out and do a PIL around access to life skills education, health education, sexuality education, call it what you may. But I think there are many other issues that impinge on how young people can exercise their options. And definitely things around sexual abuse, harassment, child marriage. I mean, these are also, all together, you can't have, I think, one case. I think that there could be a constellation of issues around which you can work on improvement for young people's sexual and reproductive health and rights. So I know that you all had made a beginning with child marriage cases. It's obviously stuck somewhere in the courts. I think the policymakers in Delhi are very seized with, India's bad statistics around at least half of the girls getting married before the age of 18. So, working on that anxiety, I think if you go back and look at where you are in the states where child marriage is still endemic, and create some, opportunities for, and I'm glad people talked about the advocacy along with lawyers, not just using the courts, but other ways. I think I see an opportunity there. I would also say that national programs tend to leave out adolescents. So you're a child, or you come into the national programs and you become, when a girl becomes pregnant and goes for Janani Suraksha or goes for maternity health care. But there's nothing in between that kind of eases this. And as actually girls get married and boys are getting married later and later, they're going to need services in that interim. That is the long-term trend. Maybe in certain states, marriage is happening very early, but as, like in Gujarat, in Kerala, in Maharashtra, as girls and boys are deferring marriage, it's not that they don't require health services. So where are we linking our national programs to providing services for young adults and adolescents? And this would also include, for example, access to contraception, safe abortion. It's unspoken. The government folks here